Hello, good day to everyone. So for those who are in the room, please follow the convention for renaming yourself. For guests, please indicate your country and then followed by your name. As we have shown on our Zoom chat, please follow convention. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. My name is Kathy. I'm your SAA for today. Our Zoom co-host will be sharing the agenda, the virtual backdrop on the Zoom chat. Please pick it up and use it because that's how we will have everyone in the same page for today. Yes, welcome once again to our Empowered Women Empower the World event. This is arranged by World Travelers Toastmasters Club. We have in our Zoom room, we have our second Vice President, Gauri Charity, distinguished Toastmasters with us in the room. Please welcome. And we also have dignitaries as like our past International Director, Leslie Stocky, distinguished Toastmaster. And we have our current RA as well, our Region 9 Advisor, Sylvia Boss, who is also our club member. Yes, we're seeing a lot of current leaders here in the room. And the best part about Toastmasters is that we are all leaders. We are leaders in the making, be it past, present, future, because we are always looking towards the future. The time is now 8 o'clock GMT plus 8, and I'd like to invite us to watch our opening video.
Announcing the arrival of World Travelers Toastmasters Club number 079679399.
We have proven that we do not have to be in the same room to be united, to encourage each other, to succeed, and to celebrate together.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. My name is Kathy. I'm your Sergeant at Arms for this event. Yes, we have a lot of guests here today. Welcome everyone to our event, Empowered Women Empower the World. And this is an event organized by World Travelers Toastmasters Club. Now, before we proceed on with today's event, let me share with you some of the house rules. Now, for those who have just joined us, kindly rename yourself with the following format: country dash name. And this is very simple so that we can know where you are from and how do we address you. Now, for those who has not received our virtual background, our Zoom master will be sharing this Zoom background and the agenda on the Zoom chat. Please use it as your virtual background. And lastly, Enjoy yourself. Now I'd like to welcome our Toastmaster of the day. And we have not only just one, we have two Toastmasters of the day to lead us through this program. Now, first of all, I'd like to introduce to our immediate past Program Quality Director from District 109 Smelly Distinguished District, Elena Toastmasters, Distinguished Toastmaster. And we also have our current District Director from District 130, Kayode, to lead us through the program. Let me welcome them to the screen.
Thank you, DTM Kathy. Dear Toastmasters and guests, welcome to this empowering gathering. Our theme, as Kathy said, today is Empowered Women, Empower the World. And it reminds us that when we lift women, we lift entire communities.
As a man who believes in fellowship and equity, I'm honored to co-lead today's session with Elena, of course. Together, let's celebrate voices that uplift, stories that inspire, and actions that empower. As we move on with our meeting, I think, Elena, I think you're muted.
And now I would like to welcome the organizing chair of this meeting, Sylvie Tuguma, a professional communicator and interpreter. She is a passionate Toastmaster, two-time division champion, and proud member of World Travelers Club. She leads with service, inspired by poetry, music, and her mission to empower others. Please welcome Sylvie Tuguma. Sylvie, you are muted. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are joining us from around the world. Aurélie, arrête d'interpréter. Arrête, s'il te plaît. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are joining from around the world. My name is Sylvie Tuguma, proud member of Toastmasters International. It's both an honor and a joy for me as the organizing chair to welcome you to this very special virtual gathering. Empowered Women, Empower the World. This event is more than a panel discussion. It's a celebration of resilience, leadership, and purpose. It's a reminder that when a woman rises, she doesn't rise alone. She lifts others with her. That represents a commitment to empowering others, creating impact, and leading with purpose. And what better way to fulfill that vision than by amplifying the voices of women who are not only powerful, but empowering. Today, we give the floor to women leaders from diverse cultures, countries, and professions, each bringing her own stories, her challenges, her victories, and her mission. These women are living proof that inclusive and authentic leadership can change the world. This event also honors the legacy of women in Toastmasters, from the first woman who disguised herself as a man to join a club, I mean Hélène Blanchard, who became our first female international president of Toastmasters, to the current female international president, Radis Pierre, DTM, It's because Ellen opened the door that countless other women have walked through and reached their goal. Personally, I have been inspired, mentored, and lifted up by women throughout my journey, just like I'm being supported today in my Distinguished Toastmasters project, which has spanned 6 years of dedication, growth, and service within Toastmasters. This project is about creating space of recognition, sisterhood, and transmission, where women who have broken the glass ceiling now extend a hand to others. To everyone connected, whether you are Toastmasters, professionals, students, dreamers, thank you so much for showing up to listen, learn, engage, and support this event, which is the final step in my DTM journey. But this is also a new beginning because with leadership comes a greater call to serve. This is not just a panel discussion, it's an act of faith in the power of women and in the strength of community. Now, get ready to be inspired, challenged, and uplifted. Let's begin this journey together. Dear Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Sylvie, and that was very well done. And I'd say congratulations for this program today. We've had the opening by the organizing chair, Sylvie Tuguma. At this point, we'll move on to listen to some words of welcome. These words of welcome will be given by the District 80 Director, Mohamed Noakim, DTM. Over to you, Mr. District Director.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening. Very good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all our friends from around the world, from District 80, Singapore, home of World Travelers Toastmasters Club. We're really proud and happy for World Travelers Toastmaster Club organizing a milestone event this evening. Special welcome to our second VP of Toastmasters International, DTM Gauri, of course, our region advisors, Zilva and Aminata as well, our speaker, Sarah, and our past international director, DTM Leslie Stocky. Not to forget, of course, my dear friend, DTM Ramesh Halai, who I had the privilege of meeting a couple of months back when we all met in Malaysia. Now, today's topic of empowered women, empowering the world, to me has a very personal tone because my significant other, my wife, my dear wife, was actually one such lady. And Toastmasters International gave her a voice and gave her a confidence when she was at a point in her life where she was searching for meaning. And from just being a homemaker, she actually used her voice to speak up for homemakers around the world and also for mothers, for women. She went on to speak at the World Championship of Public Speaking as well. And right now she is a Toastmaster leader and someone who has found a new calling as a trainer and a speaker here in Singapore. So my friends, empowered women empower the world. There is a common saying in my tradition which says, the hand that rocks the cradle rocks the world. And I'm sure nowadays, even fathers rock the cradle too. But more importantly, I think it's the little efforts that sometimes goes on behind closed doors that we always need to celebrate. And forums like these, although in the larger scheme of things, it's just a forum, but it is just, these are little steps that we take to ensure that women continue to be empowered, and with more empowered women, all of us, men, women, children, and the entire world becomes stronger and better because of it. And thanks to Toastmasters International for giving women and men the opportunity to speak, to lead, and to serve. I think we are all for the better, and I'm certainly looking forward to the forum this evening. Thank you so much for having me share a couple of words of wisdom. And all the best to Sylvie on her DTM project forum this evening. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, District Director Mohammed. And now it's time for a photo, a group photo before we start the main meeting. And we all open our cameras and have the best smile of us so we can have a group picture in order to remember this unique moment.
So ladies and gentlemen, you got to hold your smile for a few minutes because we have 2 pages, yeah? So, all right, ready? I'm going to go with the first page. 3, 2, 1. One more. Okay, hold that beautiful smile of yours. I'm going to go second page now. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Alina.
Thank you, Kim. And now I give the floor to Coyote.
Thank you, Elena, and I held that smile for a bit. At this point, we'll move on to the art of the meeting today, keynote speeches. I'll give a tip to you, our audience. Please write down your questions in the Zoom chat. We have a team skipping through the Zoom chat, picking out your questions, and those questions are going to be pointed out to all of our speakers during the Q&A session. Another tip would be when you ask those questions, please direct them to a specific speaker. That way, when we get to the Q&A session, those questions can actually be directed laser focused to the speaker that you want it to get to. Elena?
And now our first speaker is DTM Gauri Seshadri, Toastmaster International Second Vice President. Gauri Seshadri is a global strategy and leadership consultant. She is the second vice president of Toastmaster International and the first woman from India to serve as region advisor. With 20 plus years in Toastmasters, she empowers others through game-based learning, communication, and purpose-driven leadership. Step in so others step up. Gauri Seshadri. Gauri Seshadri, step in so others step up.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Elena. And I wonder where you got those photos from because I don't certainly send them to you, but thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here today at an event that is celebrating women who lead, women who uplift, and everyone who supports them. You know, I've often been the only one in the room, the only woman, the only person of color, the one who didn't quite fit the mold. And yet every time I chose to stay in that room and speak up, I felt like I made space for someone else like me to walk in, because I truly feel that every empowered woman opens the door to the room a little more wider. But having said that, even after 2 decades of working globally across different industries, and like Elena said, 20 years in Toastmasters, winning awards, leading my district to world #1, I still face some very familiar feelings, some very familiar emotions often. Now, a few years ago, I stepped into the Toastmasters boardroom as an international director. It's a pretty big role, big stakes, but I felt out of place. Like I didn't quite fit the mold again. And I wondered, did the members make a mistake? Did I make a mistake? Should I say something or wait till I sound more ready, to speak up? Look, here's the thing. The truth is, I never ever set out to be a leader. In fact, I used to avoid, and still whenever I can, avoid going to the front of the room. And I tell myself I wasn't ready yet. Then I realized somewhere along the way that I didn't have to wait to be heard. I didn't need anyone's okay or permission to share my thoughts, my perspectives, my voice. Since then, I have started leading teams. I've worked across countries, like I'd mentioned, and more than once stepped into rooms where no one else in the room looked like me or thought like me. But yes, in spite of all those achievements, I have still hesitated and hesitate often. And I've often wondered, why me? Why did they choose me? Why am I in this room? I remember when I was elected LGM, Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, for those who went Toastmasters way back. Today it's called Club Growth Director. I was very excited and completely overwhelmed. That's when my mentor pulled me aside and he said, Gauri, I need you to understand something. From this point on, you are going to be a role model. And I was like, me? Why would I be a role model for anybody? I'm just an ordinary Toastmaster. Why would people look up to me? And he said, because you are the first woman from this town to have to serve in this role. People are watching, especially women, and they're wondering, if Gauri can do this, maybe I can too. That moment was like an eye opener. It stopped me in my tracks. Until then, I was thinking, how could I survive that 1 year? How could I survive the role? How could I give it my best? I hadn't even considered anyone else who might be watching. My thoughts until then was just about me, right? I was not wondering about anybody else. But my mentor was right. Once I stepped in, once I did my best, other women in my town, in my district, raised their hands up for leadership as well. Now, that's the beauty of leadership. You don't always realize who's drawing courage from your own courage. You stepping in makes it easier for others to do the same. So, going back to 2021, the Toastmasters boardroom, where I had doubts, I had hesitation, all these questions, these voices inside my head, they all felt very familiar. But what helped me to move forward at that point of time was changing how I thought about leadership itself. Often we think of leadership, or I used to think of leadership as this finish line, something only when you're experienced enough, confident enough, perfect enough. But here's what I've learned, especially in global, high stakes, changing environments like we have today. Leadership isn't earned in advance, it's practiced in the moment. And what also helped me in that boardroom, apart from that mindset shift, was a quiet nudge from Leslie Storkey, past international director Leslie Storkey, who is in the room with us today, right? Leslie was from Region 12, I from Region 13. So we sat in the boardroom often right next to each other. And every time she would hear me murmuring to myself, she would nudge me, elbow me a little bit and say, Gauri, speak up, share your thoughts. And that quiet encouragement made all the difference in the world to me. That kind of support, women lifting each other, is what changes rooms and opens doors everywhere. Because the moment you start questioning whether you belong in a place, like I often do or did, and simply start part is you show others what is possible. Here's the thing, I didn't come here to just talk about my journey. I came here to also ask you, how do we get more women to step into leadership? And I believe that we need safe places to practice, because you do not become a leader by magic or by wanting or waiting till you feel 100% ready. you become a leader when you practice leadership, when you get into the moment. And one of my first places that I got to practice was Toastmasters. A simple room, plastic chairs, flickering tube lights, and a 7-minute speech. It wasn't glamorous. There was no paparazzi out there, but it gave me something that no leadership course ever could: a safe space to learn by doing. Here, I learned to pitch ideas. I watched them become a reality. I learned to give feedback, but also take feedback without going into depression. I learned to lead people who didn't report to me, who were not getting paid by me, and sometimes didn't like my ideas or even me at times, right? I learned to lead with influence and not with authority. And that all that practice in Toastmasters made it easier for me to walk into real rooms later in life, in my professional world, in my personal world, and easier still to bring others along with me. Because let me be honest, today's playing field isn't even, it's not the same. There is bias, there's discrimination, and sometimes those barriers and obstacles are very, very obvious, like being passed over for leadership or senior leadership roles. But sometimes they're very subtle, like when you say something and people kind of ignore your idea, but then someone in the room says exactly the same thing 2 minutes later, and suddenly everyone is like, wow, 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 what a brilliant idea this is, right? These are flaws, but they're patterns, and patterns can change, and global platforms like Toastmasters can help with that. So here in this platform, you don't need a title to lead. You don't need to be perfect to speak. You just need to show up, and you just need to raise your hand. And once you do that, that changes everything. So for me, what it is truly about leadership is showing up, speaking up, volunteering, taking on challenges. All of that builds your leadership skills. I truly believe leadership is contagious. When you raise your hands, you give others permission to do the same. When you share your ideas, you invite others to share their ideas. And when you support someone else's voice, you help shift that culture a little bit, one conversation, one meeting, one room at a time. This isn't just your journey. This is our journey together. And the most inclusive teams that I've seen aren't women only teams. They were teams where everyone took inclusion very seriously. I've had some great mentors in my life, women and men. As much as Leslie has mentored me, Mike Starkey has been an equally powerful and valuable mentor. He's always said, go, get it, Gauri. You can do it. I believe in you, right? So if you have influence, doesn't matter what your gender is, ask yourself this: are you spotlighting voices that usually go unheard? Are you amplifying ideas that aren't your own? Are you creating space for someone else? And by creating space, I don't mean stepping aside, together. I want to share 3 things with you, 3 mindset shifts. The first one being, stop waiting to be fearless. Just show up. That matters. 2, you need to have a system in place. It's not enough to just have a special day in a year to celebrate diverse voices. You have to have a system in place that spots and encourages diverse voices every day. And third, this isn't just a woman issue or a gender issue, it's a leadership issue for all of us. When everyone lifts diverse voices, change happens, it happens faster, it happens better. So don't wait for permission. It probably is never going to come for you. Don't wait until you're ready, because you will never ever feel 100% ready. And don't wait to be perfect. The women, the people who are watching you want the real you. Your presence matters more than perfection. So step in, speak up, stand tall, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Not just for you, but for others and everyone who follows you. When you step in, others step up, and together that changes the room, and that will definitely change the world. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Alina?
Wow,
Thank you, Gary.
that's nice. Well done. Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you, Gary. And now I give the floor to Zilva for giving the certificate of appreciation.
Okay, Gary, I'm just
Yes.
going to take a picture with you. So 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Gary, and thank you for that beautiful speech that you just gave. Whilst this may be targeted towards women, I got so many tidbits that I could take away from that. Thank you so much for doing that. Next, we'll welcome Sarah Khan, qualified speaker, activist, and advocate. Sarah Khan is a communication coach, speaker, passionate advocate for empathy, equity, and social justice. Featured in Forbes and Toastmasters International magazine, she empowers voices from TEDx aspirants to civil rights leaders, using communication to inspire change and challenge injustice. Today, we have Sarah Khan, Planted to Bloom. Planted to Bloom, Sarah Khan. Over to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Yusuf. Good morning, everyone. You know, guys, there's something powerful about a woman who walks into a room, not louder than everyone, but so deeply rooted in who she is. The room somehow shifts. You've seen it in the courage of a Swedish teenage girl who stood outside Parliament with a handwritten note, in the voice of a Pakistani schoolgirl who spoke out for girls' education even after being shot for daring to learn, in the quiet strength of an African-American seamstress who stayed in her seat on a segregated bus. 3 women. One showed up, as Gauri mentioned. One spoke out. One stayed. Greta Thunberg sparked a global climate movement. Malala Yousafzai refused to be silenced. And Rosa Parks ignited a civil rights revolution. That same power lies in each and every one of you when you rise. Let that sink in. That same power lies in each and every one of you when you rise. Not because the world says you're ready, because something deeper whispers it's time. But not all of us recognize that power within ourselves. I certainly didn't. You know, after the post-9/11 Islamophobia attacks, I battled social anxiety so intense, I was admitted into an intensive therapy program. The only Muslim woman in that room. I didn't go there to lead. I went to breathe and find the exit. Ever felt that way? Yeah. Getting through the day feels like a full-time job with no benefits and terrible coffee. But in that silence, something powerful took root, and I began to understand something that no one had taught me before. Leadership doesn't always begin with a voice. Sometimes it begins with presence. By simply staying, I was pushing back against the stigma that still silences so many of us today around mental health, around vulnerability, around being seen when we'd much rather disappear. Because leadership is showing up where courage feels fragile and choosing to be visible anyway, not for applause, but so someone else might feel safe enough to whisper, "Me too." Now, over time, that presence led me to unfamiliar places. I showed up as the first hijabi Muslim woman to compete in public speaking across my Toastmasters districts in California. I spoke out on interfaith stages and media platforms where my story wasn't always easy to share. And I stayed in improv class, in stand-up comedy clubs, in rooms where no one expected to see someone like me, especially me, a hijabi Muslim mom. Not exactly your typical open mic lineup. But every time I wanted to walk out, something inside me whispered, "Bloom where you stand." Have you ever been in a room where you felt invisible, but chose to stay anyway? Because, sometimes when we stay and rise, it's not about proving anything. It's about knowing that someone else is watching, waiting, wondering if they can rise too. Leadership isn't just about being seen. It's a mirror of possibility for those still waiting for their reflection. There's power in being the first, but even greater power in making sure you're not the last. And that is why inclusion must be at the heart of any empowerment movement. It isn't real if it only reaches those who already sound like us. Real empowerment listens harder to those who've never been heard. It means making space for those too often silenced, like those in our own backyards, vulnerable, marginalized, dispossessed, whose pain is too often politicized before it's even shared. Or like the indigenous communities abroad, uprooted, dehumanized, and now being live streamed, erased before the world's eyes. Or like the neurodivergent students I've had the privilege to coach, whose brilliance doesn't always match the world's expectations, but whose presence redefines what leadership can be. I've stood on interfaith stages, from churches to synagogues, from temples to mosques, speaking not just as a Muslim woman, but as a bridge between communities divided by fear, which, let's be honest, sometimes feels like the Wi-Fi everyone blames when things don't connect. When was the last time you made space for someone who didn't share your religion or politics? And no, letting them speak at a Thanksgiving dinner doesn't count. Because inclusion means more than just sharing space. It means sharing humanity. Because inclusion is not charity, it's justice. And sometimes empowerment means saying yes, even when the world expects you to say no. Like when an international lingerie designer invited me, a hijabi Muslim who covers from head to toe, to co-author her book titled Sexy with No Boundaries. I thought I'd been spammed, but no, it was real. And I said yes, not to fit in, but to speak out, to share that in a world obsessed with what people reveal, I find strength in what I choose to conceal. Because modesty isn't silence, it is sovereignty. It's empowerment rooted in authenticity. Have you ever felt powerful without having to conform, to cater, or to compromise? Guys, sometimes we don't even need to be empowered. We just need to be reminded that we already are. Because in a world that teaches women to question their worth, the most revolutionary thing we can say is, I believe in you. And maybe Just maybe the person who needs to hear that most is the girl you used to be. If you could tell your younger self just one thing, what would it be? And besides, don't overpluck, bushy brows are coming back. I'd say you don't have to be loud to be heard or flawless to be worthy or someone else to belong. And when that imposter inside you whispers, who do you think you are? Don't shrink, even if your voice trembles. Because the most powerful thing you will ever do is be fully, unapologetically you. Picture this. A king walks through his royal garden. The oak sighs, I'm dying because I can't grow like the pine. The pine says, I wish I bore fruit like the vine. The vine stares at the rose, longing to blossom like her. But one small plant stands tall. When the king asks why, it simply replies, I wasn't meant to be the oak or the pine or the vine. You planted me, so I bloomed just as I am. And that's what I want you to remember. Because empowerment isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming more of who you already are. And leadership, that's what happens when that empowerment becomes shared. When your presence opens space for others. When your voice says, come in, you belong here. Because empowered women don't just empower the world, they redefine it. So guys, whatever your story, your struggle, your success, even if it comes with a little chaos, caffeine, or a cringy haircut, be proud to say, I showed up, I spoke out, I stayed. You were never meant to be an oak or a pine or a vine. You were planted to bloom. Yusuf, back to you.
Wow, Sarah, I am restraining myself from standing up and dancing so much after listening to you. That was beautifully done. I have so much that I took away from this. There is power in being the best, but greater power in making sure that you're not the last. Wow. I'm going to invite Zilva to present a certificate of appreciation to you.
All right.
Thank you, Yusuf.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sarah, you ready?
And
I'm just going to take the picture. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, one more. Thank you very much.
And before you go, Sarah, I'm going to wish you Eid Mubarak to you, your loved ones, and all the Muslims that we have joining us at this meeting today.
Thank you so much, Yusuf.
Pray that all of our prayers are answered.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Over to you, Elena.
Yes, and I would like to wish you all Eid Mubarak for if you celebrate it. And now we move on to hear a French poem of Kamara Lay. To my mother, Nakoar Balizeta, to my mother.
À ma mère, femme noire, femme africaine. Oh, toi, ma mère, je pense à toi. Oh, Daman, oh, ma mère, toi qui me portas sur le dos, toi qui m'allaitas, toi qui gouvernas mes premiers pas, toi qui la première m'ouvrit les yeux au prodige de la terre, je pense à toi. Oh, toi, Daman, oh, ma mère, toi qui essuyais mes larmes, toi qui me régissais le cœur, toi qui patiemment supportas mes caprices, comme j'aimerais encore être près de toi, être enfant près de toi. Oh, Daman, Daman de la grande famille des forgerons, ma pensée toujours se tourne vers toi et la tienne à chaque fois m'accompagne. Femme simple, femme de la résignation, oh, toi, ma mère, je pense à toi. Oh, Daman, ma mère, comme j'aimerais encore être dans ta chaleur, être enfant près de toi. Femme noire, femme africaine. Oh, toi, ma mère, merci. Merci pour tout ce que tu fais pour moi. Ton fils si loin, si près de toi. Femme des champs, femme des rivières, femme du grand fleuve. Oh, toi, ma mère, je pense à toi. Camara Live. Merci.
Thank you, Nakoarba. A big applause for this nice poem. And now we continue with our next speaker, DTN Aminata Keita, Region 11 Advisor. Aminata Keita, Region 11 Advisor and World Health Organization consultant in Guinea, is a leadership expert known for her work in PRC and women's empowerment. Founder of CAP Afrique and a past district director, she inspires change across Africa and the Middle East through vision, values, and voice. Between culture and courage, leading beyond expectations, Aminata Keita. Aminata Keita, Between Culture and Courage, Leading Beyond Expectations.
Thank you, Elena. Greetings, everyone. Have you ever felt the presence of someone strong long before they ever spoke? I'm sure you have. For me, that presence was always a woman. Not famous, not rich, but still powerful. She didn't need a title. Her leadership was in the way she carried others, the way she kept going, even when no one was watching. Today, I speak with her spirit behind me and with you beside me. I had that woman at many stages of my life. My mother, from when I was born to now, many Toastmasters ladies from when I joined till now, and so many other women that keep inspiring me every day in the news. Ladies and gentlemen, here connected, it's a joy and it's a deep honor for me to be here today. I want to say thank you to World Travelers, leaders, all members for having me on this panel today. When they first asked me, I was like, are you sure I'm the one inspiring you? And they said, yes, you are the one. I said, yes. So you contributed to my leadership journey. I want to say thank you before I even dive into the topic today. I come to you not only as a leader, but as a daughter, as a sister, as a mentee, as a mentor, as a coach, as all the capacities that a woman can embody. A woman is a multi-function individual. I can't even tell you enough of the women capacities. So today, the question I want to ask myself and to you is it possible for women to lead, to go through the leadership journey, even when so many people around her are saying she's not capable? Is that possible? Of course it is. When I tell you about my Toastmasters journey, I told you about my leadership journey before and after Toastmasters, and I give you some wisdom words to uplift the young ones here and the senior ones that are still trying to find their way. African women, especially the ones from my tribe, because today I'm talking to you about myself, right? So I am a proud Mandingo African woman. This tribe is mainly found in the Western African side of Africa, but I saw mothers that didn't have the right to speak loudly in front of a big crowd, but that did not prevent them from leading. I saw my mother leading a huge family without saying a word, not in front of people, but she always achieved her goals. She achieved the goals for the kids because the lines she traced for their education was achieved. She achieved their goals because what she wanted for her family was achieved. And she was the one to uplift everyone, children, daddy, and other family members. That is leadership. Doing all this while sometimes crying under the pillow in the room while no one is seeing. Doing all this while still smiling in front of everybody. This is the lesson as young women today from Africa we have learned, and that the example we are following today. Leadership has never been a quiet journey. It will never be. But one tip for success is never forget where you come from, never forget who you are, and be humble and patient enough to keep the focus on the goal and keep the journey quietly towards it. Second thing, my journey in Toastmasters. When I came to Toastmasters, there was a reason to that. It's because I needed to improve my communication. Yes. I was always in a male-dominated environment. Of course, I have been a member of a trade union before. Yes, I was an activist, fighting for other people's rights. But how to achieve your goals if you don't know how to communicate effectively? That was not possible. A friend of mine said, Aminata, join Toastmasters. If you join Toastmasters, you will be happy. And I joined Toastmasters. That created the transformation in my life. And as I joined Toastmasters, I started what makes us all good leaders in Toastmasters, right? Starting playing roles, being a very successful, but sometimes sad VP education when you assign roles to members and they don't come to fulfill the roles. Have you ever been in that shoes when they take roles and they don't come? So you're sometimes very sad, but what do? You get creative. You find innovative solutions to strive. Then you get to the presidency of your club, the area director, and you keep growing. In my journey as a Toastmasters, I didn't want to grow alone. I understood that women need actually to lift one another. And Toastmasters actually helped me to professionally shift my focus on the women because women need help. I'm not saying men don't need help, but women needed help. And I felt like I understand women because I am one. And I know that behind every smile, there is sometimes sadness, there is uncertainty, there is doubt. And I knew how to handle those. I knew how to read sadness behind a lady's smile. So I said, I am going to focus on these ones. I'm going to help these ladies when no one is watching. I will tell them I can see them. I can see their potential. I can see their value. I can help. I started doing that. And I was not waiting for any congratulations from anybody. Sometimes you will uplift many ladies. When they get up, they will forget that it was there at the beginning, that you were there. It doesn't matter. That was not my first intention. My intention was to help her understand that she has a potential and she can strive. If she could also remember that she has to hold the hand of some other person, then I've been successful. So, have you ever been approached by a young lady saying, can I please have a picture with you? Can I please take a picture with you? Right? This happens a lot during international conventions. Our VP, our vice presidents, our very high authorities, sometimes when you get down from the stage, many people are there and they say, please, can I take a picture with you? You need to listen and hear what this young lady is not saying. She is saying, I admire you. I want to be like you. I want you, please, to mentor me, to coach me, to help me. That's what she's saying. Please, this is the message we should hear. And this is one opportunity for giving. This is a big opportunity for showing our generosity. Imagine if instead of just saying, oh, yes, you can have a picture with me and then go. Imagine if you could tell her, oh, please get my contact so that I'm sure you send me this photo. And also, please, let's keep in touch. Oh my God, you like me? Please, let's keep in touch because I know I can learn a lot from you. We can exchange. That humility will be a life-changing step into these ladies' life. Ladies, leaders, let's do a little more for our young sisters. At this stage, I would like to ask you one question. Let's make it a bit fun. I'm being too serious and too passionate here. Please write in the chat box, what does leadership mean to you? Just one word. Write one word for me in the chat box. For you, when you hear leadership, what is that one word that comes to your mind? Let's see. We don't have much time, so let's see quickly. Just sharing, service, inspiring, inspire. Eliza, oh, that's one person. Yes, I agree with the word Eliza. Inspired, empowering, being. Yeah, me too. I can also say the golden lady. She shaped my CGD time at Toastmasters, right? Okay, thank you very much for mentoring, uplifting. So you see the variety of the way we see leadership. I like it when Sarah said inclusion. We are all so different. We should take into account the way we see things. We are different. We have different styles of communication and leadership. Let's take it into account. But let's just remember, we are women, we are leaders, and we need to work together. That's all. My leadership journey has not been very easy, but I always enjoyed it. But because I tell myself, what would the leadership be without obstacles? Have you read the book that says the obstacle is the way? Yeah, obstacle is the way. That's where you learn lessons. Yeah. So don't worry. In times of uncertainty, in time of doubt, just hold the hand of other people, make them like you, and you will be the wonderful leader because you will be of service. During COVID time, I was PQD in District 94. This is when I realized my best goals, actually, during COVID, where no one was going to club meetings. So I led through the phone and through emails, and it worked. It worked. Yes, we still were madly distinguished. Everything went well. We had our first online contest, and we had a representative at international convention. So, you see, in times of uncertainty or in time of hesitation, still keep your heart. Be authentic, be yourself, be humble, and people will still be around you. That's the most important. My advice here, I finish with this powerful word to you. Maybe many words, but let's just think of this. Leadership is not a long and quiet journey. It can be tough, it can be lonely. There are moments you cry in the intimacy of your pillow. I know I have a lot, but what would leadership be like without obstacle once again? There is a river of tears behind every woman's smile. She may say it, she may never say it, but that's the truth. Every woman carries a story, storm of triumph, spark. And the question I leave with you is, would you rather keep reading other people's stories or start writing your own? You don't have to be like any other person. Just be you and serve. It's all we ask you. Ladies, you are stronger than you think. There's something in you, call it intuition, call it wisdom, call it ancestral strength that guides you even when logic hesitates. The same intuition has helped me lead teams from the front and from the behind. And there's a truth I've seen many times. In any group, even if it's one woman, two men, chances are it's the woman who quietly ran the show. Yeah, quietly. She may face resistance, she may not get credit, but she leads with clarity and grace. She will always thrive if she remains herself in authenticity. Lady, please trust yourself because you can do it. So my bold advice to every woman listening today is, don't wait for permission to lead. Gori and Sarah said it already. Give yourself that permission. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be loud, but you do have to be present. The only one thing I will not forgive you is if you don't accept to step out. You have to be there. You have to be present. You can be at my side, by Gori's side, and I want to finish my last uplifting message from Gori when we went to district leaders training. She asked me, Aminata, so what's next? I told her I'm still a regional advisor. She said, yes, I know, but what's next? This is the time to prepare for what's next. And we will be here to help you. That's what we are waiting for from every single woman from every continent. We are all women. We will all be wives and mothers. We are there to help and uplift one another. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Aminata. Thank you very much. And here is your certificate of appreciation.
Okay. Aminata, I'm going to take the picture. Big smile. One more. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Ari Aminata. Last but not the least, we welcome Leslie Stockid, DTM, past international director. Leslie, a Toastmaster since 1990. She is a veterinary surgeon, mentor, mother of 5, and a former international director for Region 12. With decades of leadership, from club secretary to district governor, she champions learning, mentoring, and passing knowledge forward with purpose. Today, Leslie will speak to us about the search for inner strength. Leslie Stocky. Leslie Stocky, the search for inner strength. Over to you, Leslie.
Bonsoir, good evening. Madam Second Vice President, Toastmasters of the day, and Toastmasters and guests throughout the room. It is such a pleasure and honor to be here. I had a lot of thought when I was first invited to attend this meeting, and like many of you who have said before, I was humbled by the invitation, and I thought, what exactly do I have to offer? And that's when I came up with the title for my speech, because I'm still searching. As you can see, I'm grey, silver I like to call it. So my life has been somewhat longer than many of you. But I'd like to tell you a little bit about my life's journey and the lessons I have learned along the way. I'm a veterinary surgeon. I'm now retired, but it was a male-dominated career when I was qualified. I was one of 6 out of 50 who was selected to enter the program in Melbourne, in Victoria, the southernmost state of Australia. And there was a lot of problems in having so many, 6 out of 50 women in that field. In fact, one of the professors said to me, oh, the women only want to get married. They don't really want to be vets. Well, I was pretty angry about that. But, you know, I didn't do anything. I just sort of smiled and ignored what he said. I hadn't learned to speak up at that point. You know, women are our own worst enemies. We don't actually know our strength. We don't know how much we can empower others because we don't necessarily know how to empower ourselves. I think women are constantly searching for their identity. Are we mothers? Are we daughters? Are we nanas? Are we aunts, uncles? Well, not uncles, obviously. But who are we? And that's a constant search for women. And yet women are just part of the human race. Yes, we're a gender. Yes, we are constantly told that women need to stand up for themselves and we need to show ourselves. In our country recently, we had a federal election and there was a lot of discussion in the federal political parties about whether there should be a quota for women entering politics. Personally, I think the answer is no, because if we can't stand up for ourselves, we shouldn't be put there just because we're women. We need to search for our inner strength, search for our passion and lead others, not because someone else says so. After I left veterinary science and practiced for some 20 years, I entered the field of real estate in project marketing, very much a male-dominated field again. I think the world was telling me something there. I was very successful, not just financially, but doing what our clients really needed. But I never really believed in myself. I had a male boss who had no respect for women whatsoever, and that dented my self-confidence and worried me greatly. And it's been many years before I was able to even speak about it privately, let alone publicly. Again, women need to feel brave, courageous, draw on their inner strength so that they can stand up and do what they can do so well, empower others, but first empowering themselves. I was also involved in the Australian Breastfeeding Association. As your Toastmaster has told you, I have 5 children. Well, we have 5 children, but I'm talking about me at the moment. And I belong to an association that in those days was advocating the acceptance of breastfeeding. In those days, you had to hide away. You had to pretend that you weren't actually nourishing and nurturing your child. And we had many meetings with government bodies, mostly male, health officials, allied health services, to advocate for a voice to be heard. And that was incredibly empowering. And when I look back, I was very proud of that, but I still didn't realize it. You know, over the years, and particularly in my Toastmasters years, I've had many mentors, male and female, who have said to me, wow, Leslie, you know, you've taught me so much. You've given me so much. You've made me believe in myself. And yet I still didn't believe in me. I have 5 beautiful kids who I know are wonderful adults and in their turn, wonderful parents. Do I really believe that I've been a good mother to them? Not always. Why is that? Why is it that we cannot believe in ourselves? Why is it that we can't stand up? Like the other speakers have said today, be proud of ourselves. There are so many things in this world that need doing, that need changing, that need attention, that need speaking. And we can do that just as well as anybody else in the world. But we have to find that within ourselves and be proud of what we can say. That's why mentoring is so incredibly important. To pat someone on the shoulder and say to them, you know, Anne, John, have you ever thought about what you could do in leadership? Have you ever thought about entering politics? However, you ever thought about speaking up for a cause in which you believe? They don't always remember, they don't always do that, but that's important. Yes, there are fabulous mentors who are male, but as women, we often understand far more than we realize. I joined Toastmasters, as you've already been told, some 35 years ago. Where have the years gone? And it's been a wonderful journey. I have been through the district level. I have been an international director, and I was an international director during those COVID years when we had to search deep for our inner strength because we didn't have those people around us to speak to and to talk to. At one stage, I looked at further international leadership in Toastmasters, and I didn't get there. And that was hard for me to take. Now, just in the last 2 weeks, I found a different passion. I decided that I have a passion for one of our divisions in Australia, in District 69, and I put my hand up to be Northern Division Director for this coming year. And I am so excited about this. I wonder if finally the search for my inner strength is here. Look within yourself, find your inner strength, find your passion, and you will benefit, and so will others. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Past International Director Leslie Stockey. I would invite Silva to present the certificates of appreciation.
Leslie, you ready? Let me just remove. Okay, 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Silva. After an hour of an oratory experience from phenomenal women, we will have a breather by listening to a poem by Maya Angelou. This poem will be presented by none other than our organizing chair today. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome back to the virtual stage Sylvie Toguma as she presents this poem to us.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. This is to honor our 4 powerful women and all the women connected today. phenomenal woman. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to shoot a fashion model size. But when I try to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my hand, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, and the curl of my lips. I am a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that is me. I enter into a room, just as cool as you please, and to a man, the fellow stand or fall down on the knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes, the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist, and the joy of my feet. I am a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that is me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They tried so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say, it's in the arc of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breath, and the grace in my style. I am a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that is me. Now, you understand just why my head is not bowed. I don't shout or jump about, or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hands, and the need of my care. Because I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that is me, Maya Angelou.
Thank you, Sylvie. Thank you very much. We have enjoyed 4 inspiring speeches and 2 poems today. Empowered women empower the world, and empowered people empower each other. Dear women, we need to be ourselves and stand up to empower someone else to whisper me too. Now we will have a Q&A session with DTM Dembele as a moderator. Please welcome DTM Dembele on stage.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you to our incredible speakers and our very committed audience. We have many comments and some questions in the chat box. I will ask the first question to DTM Gauri Seshadri. DTM, should females have female mentors and males have male mentors, or does it even matter? This is a question from UK, Ramesh Alay.
The gender doesn't matter out here. What matters is that your mentor gets you, that your mentor knows you. I often go to places where I give keynotes and suddenly I have a new member coming in and saying, Gauri, will you be a mentor? And I politely decline, because it's important that you know the person, you know their strengths, you know their areas of improvement. For me, I have both male and female mentors. These are mentors who are real with me, keep me real, don't allow my head to swell up too much. But at the same time, they don't judge me for my failings. They do politely tell me what I did wrong, but at the same time, tell me how I can correct it as well. So if you find a person, regardless of male, female, or whichever gender they might identify, who knows you, who understands you, who gets you, tap on their shoulder and ask them to mentor you.
Thank you, DTM. Thank you for this answer. DTM Aminata Keita, the second question is for you. How do I find a mentor and what should I be looking for? It's from Ramesh Alai from UK.
Thank you very much. And hi, Sylvie. It's a pleasure to see you here again.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question. How do you find a mentor? You know, when you first join Toastmasters, most of the time you don't have a choice. They assign a mentor to you. So at that time, you're a new member, you take what you get at that time, because the mentor is also, learning, trying to improve their competencies. Now, when you move from that position, you start going up, or if you don't get along very well with the mentor that was assigned to you, I would advise you talk to the VP Education and tell them exactly how your mentoring relationship is going. If that first mentoring relationship is going fine, and then you want to go to another position, higher position, and you just need to increase your experience, you may look around you and see somebody that inspires you. Let's say I've owned or held a position that you want to also hold. You can just come and talk to me. I would like to do this. What do you think? What are, so you will check the way the conversation is going, and you may ask me if I would like to mentor you, and we can organize that with your club leadership. At some point, you will not need your club leadership anymore to interfere in your mentoring relationships. Like me, when I was trying to get into the district leadership, at that time, I'm a very experienced Toastmasters. I want something else. I found my own mentors, right? In terms of speaking, I had a mentor. In terms of leadership, I had also a mentor. But as Gori said, just make sure you know the person, and then the person gives you space to listen to you, and make sure your goals match. If the person can follow you, then you can make sure you work with that person. If not, take your time to look for your mentor. You can talk about experienced members, ask them, I need a mentor, here are my goals. Who do you think can help me? They can also assist, but you can help yourself as well by looking around you. People who are doing already what you would like to do, talk to them. I'm sure you'll find your way through a very nice mentor.
Very relevant. Thank you, my past Didi. The next question is from Josiane Ouedraogo. In professional area, how to create opportunity to grow? I asked this question to DTM Leslie Stocky. The floor is yours.
Could you repeat the question, please, Sylvie?
In professional area, how to create opportunity to grow?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, it is clear. Thank you very much. I lost audio for a moment. Not just in your professional career, but in all of life, people would often answer that by saying, never be afraid to say no. And I think that's probably important. Say no if you don't feel you will gain from it. But if you want to advance and you want to challenge yourself, then say yes, but ask the questions. I think one of the lesser known traits of leadership is curiosity. So be curious, find out about the different opportunities that are available. Say yes if it's relevant and it's going to help you to grow, but also don't be afraid to say no.
Thank you for this helpful answer. I'm checking if there is no other question in the chat. I'll ask a question to, we have the yellow sign appearing. So one last question. I think Aminata already answered to this, but anyway, one bold advice for women. How can they empower other women? So, DTM, Gori, your last answer?
How can you empower other women? I would say show up and lead and do it by example. That's the best way to empower other women. Thank you.
Let's show up. DTM, Leslie?
Obviously, I'm going to say believe in yourself, but believe in yourself with passion.
Believe in yourself with passion. This is very empowering. Thank you. DTM Aminata Keita.
I'll say trust yourself and be yourself. Genuinely be yourself. Your authenticity, that's what should show up, because you don't want to be somebody else. You will never be Aminata. You will never be Gori. So make sure you are yourself, you know, your authentic self, and grow up from there.
For sure. Let us be authentic. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, TTM Dembele. And now, after all these wonderful speeches, it's time for some enjoyment. And who's better than Eleus Theophilus, a global humorist and storyteller? Eleus turned career misadventures into comedy gold, and rubber duck chats into wisdom. Raised by empowered women and 2 a.m. voice notes, he's here to remind us men may be lost, but with strong women, there is a hope, and maybe even shocks. Let's give it up for Eleus Theophilus.
Yes. Can you see me, everyone? I want to see all of you. Please give me some response, please. Okay. Wait. Let me record this. So, okay. I'll start. You know what I realized? If women run the world, Wi-Fi would never drop. Emotional intelligence would be a school subject. And I'll still be single. But at least I understand why. Hi everyone, I'm Elias Theophilus, and I'm here because women empower the world. And also because my sister said, if you don't show up for this event, don't show up for dinner. Motivations comes in mysterious form. And let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I tried to impress a woman by saying, I am emotionally available. She said, that's cute. I'm running a business, mentoring girls, healing generational trauma, and solving 5 group chats before breakfast. I said, cool. I just learned how to boil an egg. Then I asked her what she looks for in a man. She said, one who listens. So I leaned in and said, I'm all ears. She said, good, use them. It was in that moment I knew women don't want a knight in shining armor. They want a guy who remembers her mom's birthday and don't mess up the grocery list. And you know, women don't just multitask, they megatask. My mom once helped me with my resume, made lunch, negotiated peace between relatives, and gave relationship advice, all while on a Zoom call with her boss. Is her boss in this room? Oh, I think so, or I don't think so. And me, I blink twice, and I need a nap. But here's the thing. Behind every great man is a woman, patiently waiting for him to catch up. So yes, if women run the world, Wi-Fi would never drop. And guys like me would finally understand that the strongest signal isn't in the router, it's in the women. who raised us, led us, and still tell us where our lost socks are. Mom, where's my socks? And thank you. I'm Ilios. And I fully support this global takeover by empowered women. Just please don't take my socks. Back to you.
Wow, that was very good, Elias. Thank you for making us laugh. We'll bring this special meeting to a close by inviting Ramesh to give a closing remark. Ramesh is an IT professional and has been a Toastmaster since the year 2014. He is a proud DTM, a member of trade clubs across the UK, Canada, and globally. He is a father, grandfather, lifelong learner. He enjoys coding, gardening, audiobooks, and mentoring. He lives with the motto, if opportunity knocks, answer. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome the president of World Travelers Toastmasters Club, DTM Ramesh.
Thank you so much. Fellow travelers, my name is, as we just heard, Ramesh Halai, also known as Toastmaster Ram. I wanted to thank you all, firstly, for taking time out and spending time with us today, because this is a special time of the year. So on behalf of World Travelers, we wish everyone Eid Adha Mubarak. At World Travelers, we try to help our members to grow, to give them an international opportunity. This is a brilliant example of that. So well done, Sylvie, for putting your hand up and taking the lead. I'm sure everyone in this room will agree with me that she delivered a fantastic and a wonderful event. It wasn't all plain sailing, I'm sure Sylvie will also agree on. There were ups and there were downs, but this is where and how you learn, isn't it? I, for one, wouldn't enjoy the taste of food. I'd enjoy it more if I made it myself. This is why I am proud of being a member of this world-class Toastmasters Club. Join us, and together we too can learn to breathe together. I also want to thank our speakers today. Gary Seshadri, Second Vice President, Sarah Khan, Qualified Speaker, Aminata Kiata, DTM Region 11 Advisor, and Leslie Storkey, DTM Past International Director. Without which this event would have just been a dream. Whilst I love dreaming, I love things to come from dreams. And I'm sure everybody will now, why don't we just unmute and just give everybody a round of applause? How does that sound? Shall we do that?
Yep.
All right. Please, let's do that.
Thank you.
Well done, everyone. Well done, Sylvie, and well done to our keynote speakers. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for having us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, DTM Ram, for that closing remarks. At this point, we have come to the end of this meeting, and we're going to open the floor for networking and photo opportunities. And don't run away yet. I believe we've got a DJ and music that's going to come after our networking. Thank you for joining, and hey, let's meet someone new. Over to you, the audience.
Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster of the day.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make
Toastmaster of the day, or is it the Zoom master? Can you put the empowerment dance, please?
No
There is
sound.
no sound. Eliza, please put the sound. We share with the sound.
Yep.
Are we closing the meeting?
The certificate of the organizing team.
Who has it?
Siva, can we have the picture of the organizing team? All right. Sivi, would you like to say a few words?
Okay. I would like to thank our phenomenal panel. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. First and foremost, I want to thank our phenomenal panelists our Vice President International to DTM Gauris Seshadri, DTM Aminata Keita, DTM Leslie, and Sarah Khan. Thank you for your voices, your wisdom, and your authenticity. Each of you reminded us today that leadership is not about power, but about purpose. And that when women lead with courage, they lift entire communities. To our moderators, technical team, timekeeper, facilitator, and behind the scenes supporters, you were the silent engine that kept this event running smoothly. Thank you so much for your professionalism, your commitment, and calm coordination. To our audience, thank you for showing up from Africa, Asia, Europe, the America, and beyond. Your presence today was not passive. It was powerful. You came to listen, to learn, to connect, and by doing so, you gave meaning to this gathering. I would like also to thank Toastmasters International, the platform that has shaped my journey over the past 6 years. Through this organization, I find my voice, my mentors, my challenges, and my worth. And today's event was the final step of my distinguished Toastmaster journey. To those who supported me quietly and consistently, thank you so much for believing in this vision, for sharing the visual, for registering, for encouraging. As we live today, may we carry with us one truth. Empowered women don't just rise, they rise and lift others with them. Thank you for being part of this journey.
Eliza, can we have the raw music?
You are muted. Eliza, please unmute yourself.
My name's Sarah. This is Alistair. We are the founders of
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So
Thank you very much, everyone. Wish to meet you all again. It will Travelers Toastmaster event next time. Thank you for coming and happy Eid al-Adha for everyone who celebrate today.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Hope to see you in our WTC next regular meeting next Saturday. Thank you, Leslie. I know that it's a very late night for you, but thank you very much for staying up until late. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Well done, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye,
And good night.
everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, we have our PQD here. PQD
Yeah.
club. Anybody
Role
want to
player, just stay back for a bit, huh?
Zilva need to go
Oh.
for dinner.
Oh, okay.
So whoever want to stay, I will just off the recording.